The Cincinnati Open has been a whirlwind of emotion, a roller coaster of triumph and tears. Alex Eala has conquered one demon, exorcised the ghost of a painful 2024 loss, and now stands on the precipice of her greatest challenge yet. But as she looks across the net at the formidable Amanda Anisimova, she knows she cannot do it alone. In the high-stakes world of professional tennis, the battle is not just won on the court, but in the quiet moments of preparation behind the scenes. And in her corner, guiding her every move, is a man who has become her anchor, her confidant, and the strategic mastermind behind her meteoric rise, her coach, Joan Bosch. As the tennis world braces for a clash of titans, we go inside the intense, behind-the-scenes preparations as Bosch steps in to forge a game plan to topple the world number 10. The fans are watching, the pressure is immense, and the stakes have never been higher. To understand the magnitude of Bosch's intervention, we must first understand the bond that has been forged between this Spanish coach and his Filipina protégé. Their partnership, which began 3 years ago at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, has proven to be a winning formula. It has been described as a perfect combination, as harmonious as Spanish latte and pan de sal. Bosch, a former Spanish tennis player who once worked alongside his compatriot, former world number 1 Carlos Moya, has been the constant in Eala's remarkable rise. He was there when she was just a promising teenager, and he is here now as she stands on the brink of global stardom. But what makes their partnership so special is not just the tactical acumen Bosch brings, but the profound trust and emotional connection they share. Eala has described Bosch as her confidant, a trusted person who makes her feel like she is not alone on the court. "Joan, who's here with me, is my confidant and I trust him a lot," Eala has said. It is this deep-seated trust that allows Bosch to step in and deliver the tough truths, the strategic adjustments, and the unwavering belief that Eala needs to conquer her biggest fears. The opponent standing in their way is a formidable one. Amanda Anisimova is not just any player, she is a 2-time Grand Slam finalist, a former world number 3, and a 4-time WTA titleist. At just 24 years old, she has already achieved more than most players do in a lifetime. She has won 2 WTA 1000 titles, reached the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, and at 17, became the youngest French Open semi-finalist in 2019. The American is a powerhouse, known for her aggressive baseline game, her ability to take the ball early, and her devastating flat ground strokes. For Eala, this is a first-time meeting, a clash of styles that presents a unique tactical puzzle. Anisimova will attempt to impose her pace and shorten the points, while the left-handed Eala will look to absorb that power, change direction, and test the American's movement. It is a daunting challenge, but Bosch has been here before, crafting game plans that have seen Eala defeat 7 top 10 players this season alone. As the match approaches, the weight of expectation is immense. The Barangay, Eala's passionate Filipino fanbase, has turned the Cincinnati Open into a home game, creating an atmosphere that 4-time Grand Slam winner Naomi Osaka once described as more like a basketball game than a tennis match. Anisimova, who will be playing on her home turf, is fully aware of the challenge. She has a great fan base. And it looks like an incredible atmosphere every time she steps out to play a match, Anisimova said. But the American is unfazed. "I love a packed stadium and I love a good atmosphere. I'm sure it will be a great match, even though they will probably gonna be rooting more for her end. But I don't mind it and I'll try to thrive off of the energy," she declared. This is the environment Eala must navigate, and Bosch's role is to ensure that the noise becomes her fuel, not her distraction. This is where Joan Bosch's true genius comes to the fore. He is not just a coach, he is a tactician who has guided Eala through the biggest tournaments on the calendar, including a historic run to the 4th round of Wimbledon. His influence was evident when Eala rallied from a 1-5 deficit in the second set against Leylah Fernandez in Washington, a comeback that showcased the mental fortitude Bosch has instilled in her. "He said that I just have to keep going because if I'm there for every ball, I'll have my chances," Eala recalled after that match. For Anisimova, the preparation has been intense. Bosch has been drilling Eala on the specifics of the American's game, her powerful first serve, her ability to flatten out shots, and her tendency to dictate play from the baseline. The plan is to neutralize Anisimova's power by absorbing it, redirecting it, and forcing the American to move, to test her footwork and her patience. Bosch is the architect of this strategy, and he has been working tirelessly to ensure that Eala is mentally and physically prepared to execute it. He has been a constant presence, a steadying hand in the chaos of a WTA 1000 event. His message is clear: trust the preparation, trust the process, and trust that you are not alone on that court. The fans, the media, and the entire tennis world are watching with bated breath. This is a moment of truth for Alex Eala, a chance to prove that her historic rise is not a fluke, but the beginning of a dynasty. Joan Bosch has stepped in, not to take the spotlight, but to ensure that his star pupil shines brighter than ever. The stage is set for a blockbuster showdown. The question is, will Bosch's master plan be enough to guide Eala past one of the toughest tests of her young career? The air was thick with anticipation. On one side of the net stood Amanda Anisimova, the 9th seed, a two-time Grand Slam finalist, and a player who had been ranked as high as number 3 in the world. At just 24, she was a veteran of the big stage, a warrior who had battled the best and won. On the other side stood Alex Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina phenomenon who had taken the tennis world by storm. The barangay was out in full force, a sea of red, white, and blue that turned the stadium into a cauldron of noise. This was not just a tennis match, it was a collision of worlds. And in the corner of the Filipina sensation, watching every move with the intensity of a hawk, was her coach and confidant, Joan Bosch. He had crafted the game plan. He had prepared the warrior. Now, it was time to execute. The match began, and the atmosphere was everything Anisimova had expected and more. She has a great fan base, the American had said before the match. And it looks like an incredible atmosphere every time she steps out to play a match. I'm really looking forward to it. But there is a difference between anticipating a packed stadium and stepping into a lion's den. The noise was deafening. The chants of Ali echoed through the stadium, a rhythmic heartbeat that pulsed with every rally. Anisimova, who had promised to thrive off the energy, was not lying. She came out firing, her flat, powerful groundstrokes finding the corners with surgical precision. She was determined to impose her will, to shorten the points, and to prevent Eala from settling into a rhythm. But Eala was ready. Bosch had prepared her for this. He had drilled her on the specifics of Anisimova's game, her powerful first serve, her ability to flatten out shots, and her tendency to dictate play from the baseline. The plan was clear: absorb the power, redirect it, and use her left-handed game to create awkward angles, forcing the American to move and test her footwork. Eala executed the plan with the precision of a master tactician. She was like a sponge, soaking up Anisimova's pace and redirecting it with interest. She used her slices to change the rhythm, her drop shots to pull the American forward, and her powerful forehand to push her back. The strategy was working. The rallies were becoming longer, the points more grueling. Anisimova, who thrives on quick points, was being dragged into a war of attrition. The first set was a brutal back-and-forth battle. Anisimova's aggression was met by Eala's resilience. The American broke early, but Eala broke back immediately, a sign of the mental fortitude that Bosch has instilled in her. The games went to deuce time and time again. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. Every point was a mini-drama. Every game felt like a final. The tension was unbearable. But in the crucial moments, it was Eala who held her nerve. She saved breakpoints with clutch serves. She hit winners from impossible angles. She moved with a fluidity and grace that belied the pressure of the moment. She took the first set in a tiebreak, a testament to her composure under fire. The barangay erupted. The noise was so loud that it seemed to shake the very foundations of the stadium. Anisimova, to her credit, did not fold. This was a player who had been to the biggest stages in the sport. She knew that one set does not define a match. She adjusted her tactics in the second set, going for even more power, taking even more risks. She knew she had to be the aggressor. She broke Eala's serve early and raced to a 3-1 lead. The momentum had shifted. The barangay, who had been so vocal, were suddenly quiet. The tension was palpable. Eala looked up at the stands, and the faces of thousands of Filipino fans stared back at her, their eyes filled with hope and anxiety. This was the moment of truth. This was where champions are made. And then, Alex Eala found another gear. She drew on the energy of the crowd. She remembered the words of her coach. She thought about the journey that had brought her here, the grueling training sessions, the heartbreaking losses, the moments of doubt, and the unwavering support of the people who believed in her. She started playing with a freedom and fluidity that was breathtaking to watch. She started painting the lines with her forehand. She started winning the long rallies. She started reading Anisimova's serve like a book. The momentum shifted dramatically. Eala won 4 of the next 5 games, breaking Anisimova's serve twice in the process. The American, for all her power and experience, simply had no answer. The match was over. Alex Eala had done it again. She had beaten another top 10 opponent. The reaction was instant and overwhelming. Eala dropped her racket and fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. The barangay went absolutely berserk. They were crying, hugging, and celebrating like they had just won the championship. The media swarmed the court, their cameras capturing every emotion. Eala, still breathless and overwhelmed, managed to speak to the press. Her voice was shaky, but her words were filled with emotion. "I think that I was playing well, I think I felt the ball good, was really focused and tried to keep myself in the zone," she said. "I think I did a good job of that." The victory was historic. It was Eala's 9th win against a top 10 opponent this season, a record that has solidified her status as one of the most dangerous players on the tour. She had beaten the best in the world. She had conquered the giants. And she had done it with the unwavering support of her fans behind her. The barangay had once again proven that they are a force to be reckoned with. They had turned the Cincinnati Open into a home game, and their energy had lifted Eala to new heights. In the aftermath of the match, the tennis world was buzzing with praise. Anisimova, gracious in defeat, acknowledged the quality of her opponent. "She's been having such an incredible season, an incredible year," she had said before the match. "Very great player with a lot of fans." After the match, her respect for Eala had only grown. The American star knew she had been beaten by a better player on the day. The analysts were quick to weigh in. Many called it the biggest win of Eala's young career. Others pointed out that she was no longer a rising star, she was a legitimate contender for the biggest titles in the sport. For Joan Bosch, the victory was a testament to the power of trust and preparation. He had crafted the game plan, and Eala had executed it to perfection. Their partnership, which had been described as perfect a combination as Spanish latte and pan de had once again proven to be a winning formula. Bosch had been the steady hand guiding Eala through the chaos of the tournament, and his influence was evident in every aspect of her game. From the very first point, it was clear that this was not the same player who had crumbled under pressure in New York 2 years ago. The Filipina star, seated at career-high number 17 at a WTA 1000 event, came out with a ferocity that stunned everyone in attendance. After dropping her serve in the opening game, Eala found another gear, reeling off 6 straight games to take the first set 6-1. The statistics were staggering. She won 71% of the points on Ruse's first serve and an astonishing 78% on the Romanian's second delivery. In the opening set alone, Ruse won only 2 of the 16 points available on her first serve. The barangay, the passionate Filipino fans who had turned the tournament into a home game, erupted with every point. The chants of Ali echoed through the stadium, a rhythmic heartbeat that seemed to pulse through the very foundations of the venue. The second set began with more of the same dominance. Eala broke Ruse twice to build a 3-0 lead. The match was suspended due to a lightning warning, but when play resumed, Ruse, who had taken a medical timeout for a foot injury, made the difficult decision to retire. After just 57 minutes, Eala had her revenge. She had not only won, she had made a statement. But the victory was bittersweet. Despite the elation of settling an old score, Eala's first thoughts were not of celebration. Speaking in the Tennis Channel studios after the match, she opened by praising her fallen opponent. "First and foremost, I just wish Gabby a speedy recovery," she said, her voice filled with genuine concern. "Health is, I think, #1 priority for everybody. So, hope she gets better soon." It was a moment of class that reminded everyone why Eala has become one of the most beloved figures on the tour. Only then did she allow herself a moment to assess her own performance. "I think I played really well," she explained. "I found my groove early and I was able to hold that until the end of the match. I'm really happy with my debut." Her happiness, however, was about more than just the victory. For Eala, this tournament carried a deeply personal significance. Her parents, Michael Eala and Riza Eala, were in attendance, a rare and precious moment for a family that has sacrificed so much for her career. They were celebrating their wedding anniversary and her father's birthday. In the days leading up to the match, Eala had taken to Instagram to honor them, sharing heartfelt family snaps and crediting them for shaping her tennis career. "It's a meaningful period for our family. Being able to be together is especially precious," she said. The presence of her parents in the stands, cheering her on, gave her an extra boost of inspiration. The victory also carried significant ranking implications. Eala had not played the Cincinnati Open the previous year due to a shoulder injury, meaning every win from here on out would add to her ranking total. She had already climbed to a career-high world number 18, moving up 2 places from her previous high of number 20. With only 125 ranking points to defend for the rest of the season, every additional victory could push her even higher. But the celebrations would have to wait. Waiting in the wings was a challenge of a completely different magnitude. Amanda Anisimova, the world number 10, a 2-time Grand Slam finalist, and the number 9 seed in Cincinnati. The American had advanced with an authoritative 6-2, 6-3 victory over Eala's good friend Zeynep Sanmez. This would be the first meeting between the two players. And Anisimova, for her part, was genuinely excited about the prospect. Speaking during her on-court interview after defeating Sanmez, Anisimova addressed the challenge with a mix of respect and anticipation. "I haven't played her before," she said. "She's been having such an incredible season, incredible year. Very great player with a lot of fans, so I'm really looking forward to that." She knew what was coming. "I know that it's probably gonna be a very packed stadium. I'm sure it will be really fun." The American star was ready for the cauldron of noise that the barangay would bring. The stakes could not have been higher. Beyond Anisimova loomed a draw that was nothing short of brutal. A victory would set up a 4th-round clash against the reigning Wimbledon champion, Linda Noskova, a player who had beaten Eala twice in 2026, including a 6-2, 6-0 demolition at Indian Wells. After that, a potential quarter-final against number 3 seed Jessica Pegula, the very woman Eala had defeated in the Washington final to capture her first WTA Tour title. And beyond that, the possibility of facing Iga Swiatek in the semifinals and Aryna Sabalenka in the final. It was a gauntlet of champions. But if there is one thing Eala has proven this season, it is that she does not fear the top players. She already has 8 wins against top 10 opponents this season, including a stunning victory over Swiatek at Wimbledon and her triumph over Pegula in Washington. Her 9-4 record against top 10 opponents includes 5 straight wins. She has beaten the best in the world, and she has done it on the biggest stages. What makes Eala so difficult to stop? The answer lies in the unique qualities of her game. As a left-hander, she creates awkward angles that right-handed opponents struggle to handle. Her serve, once considered a weakness, has now become a weapon with more spin and depth, and the left-handed trajectory making it harder to negotiate. Her return game and ground strokes have never been in question. And above all, there is her resilience, her refusal to give up on any point, her ability to stay in the zone even when the pressure is at its peak. For Bosch, the coach who has been her confidant and strategist throughout this remarkable journey, the preparation for Anisimova has been intense. They have studied the American's game, drilled the specifics of her powerful first serve and her ability to dictate play from the baseline. But more than tactics, Bosch has focused on the mental game, ensuring that Eala trusts the preparation, trusts the process, and trusts that she is not alone on that court. The barangay, meanwhile, has been preparing in their own way. The Filipino community has turned the tournament into a celebration of national pride, their flags waving, their voices hoarse from cheering. The atmosphere they create has been described by Naomi Osaka as more like a basketball game than a tennis match. It is an energy that lifts Eala to new heights, that makes her feel like she is playing a home match even when she is thousands of miles from the Philippines. As Eala prepared to face Anisimova, She did so with the weight of a nation on her shoulders, but also with the strength of millions behind her. She had exorcised one demon. Now, she was ready to conquer another. The world was watching. The journey continues. And Alex Eala is just getting started.